Hello, Danny.
Hello, Amy.
Tell us a little bit about you. Where are you tuning from? It seems like San Francisco, but
Yes, that's a great guess. I actually am from San Francisco. So I always tell people, hey, this isn't just a stock photo, but the Golden Gate Bridge background. I actually am in San Francisco.
literally, huh?
Yes, literally. Yeah, 10 minutes away from the bridge.
Wow. Wow. No wonder you have that on. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us about you. Have you always been in San Francisco?
Yeah, born and raised in San Francisco, hometown product, graduated from USF. So, yeah, a lot of people are surprised, especially here in San Francisco, so close to Silicon Valley, uh, you know, meet a lot of tech people. So, for anyone else who's not familiar with San Francisco or the Bay Area, they're very surprised to meet someone who's actually a San Francisco native.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yep, we are a rare breed.
Yes, you are. So tell us, what do you do, Danny?
So I'm with a commercial mortgage broker called Sequoia Lending. We are a broker that specializes in non-bank financing. So anyone like a business owner or a real estate investor who cannot get a loan from a bank, they would come to me.
Oh, that's awesome. So you kind of save the day, right? With anything that they cannot do, they will come to you. So you kind of help them.
Correct, correct.
Awesome. And how long you been doing that?
3 years now. So first 2 years, truth be told, I was actually doing it part time. I had spent around 7 years in tech before I got laid off. So technically, this would be my first full year in commercial lending, and yeah, I'm glad because at the time it felt devastating to be laid off. First time thing, never ever happened to me before. I mean, I was never even fired, let alone laid off. So it was a new experience for me, but I see it as a blessing in disguise. It's allowed me to spend more time on my business, do the things that I want to do. So I no longer have to report to a manager, a supervisor, worry about team meetings, company meetings, all that stuff. Yeah, I get to do whatever I want.
Yeah, that's the life to entrepreneur. Yes.
hmm
Yes. I love that. Yeah, like it's truly, I mean, income is important, right? Finances are important, but I think nothing is more important than time freedom. Yes.
hmm Yep, that's true. That's true. I mean, you could have all the money in the world, but if you're working hard, you don't have the time to go on vacation, do the things you want to do, or for those who are married with kids, spend time with your family. What's the point, right? You hear people like, "Oh, daddy, you're always at work," and then the kids aren't happy. So, there's really no point. You can make all the money in the world, but if your family's not happy, you don't spend time with friends, do the things that you want to do. I mean, is it really worth it?
Right. I agree with you, Danny. So tell us a little bit about how was your life like before the mentorship? And that wasn't too long ago, but it felt like so last year.
Yeah. So I remember obviously pre-mentorship, everything was just still. Not much to worry about, to be honest, in a sense where I had my six-figure salary, so it's comfortable. Um, but there's also a danger to that being comfortable. You're stagnant and you're not growing. So that's where I was, and I didn't know at the time because it was like, hey, it was so easy. Okay, I'm getting my paycheck every month. Things are going well. Nothing too crazy as far as extraneous expenses or I don't spend above my means. So everything was easy, smooth sailing, so to speak. But obviously, things went south.
That's the danger zone, actually. The comfort zone is the danger
Mhm.
zone. Yeah.
Yeah, I got too comfortable. That's the thing. It's okay to be a little bit comfortable, and then you have a little bit of rocky road or rocky waters, and kind of shake the boat a little bit. But when you're too comfortable, that's when, like you say, you're in the danger zone. So that's where I was, and I didn't even know that until obviously it happened with the layoffs, happened all over the tech industry. Obviously the big tech giants were not immune to that as well. So for me, not being in a tech company that was a tech giant, although they are publicly traded, I was on the chopping block like a lot of other people. So yeah, prior I was trying to wonder, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to look for another full-time job somewhere else, keep doing my commercial lending part-time? So I did that for about 3, 4 months, kind of like, okay, let me try to figure this out. Go apply to jobs, things like that. It didn't work out, obviously. So for me, I said, okay, I got to make a decision about my future. Either I try to stay the course, and I thought about that, but I said to myself, somewhere down the line, this is just going to happen again. That's just how tech is. When it's great, everyone gets hired, everyone gets to stay on board. But when the going gets tough, people are going to be on the chopping block. Doesn't matter how talented you are, how long you've been with the company, none of that matters when you're dealing with a company. There's no such thing as a two-way loyalty anymore. So that's all gone. Yes, it might have happened in the 60s and the 70s and possibly in the 80s, but not today. You're only as good as what you've been doing for them lately, and sometimes that's not even enough. So I made the decision, okay, I'm going to bet on myself. To use a poker term, because I love to play poker, I went all in with the hand I have. Hmm.
Decision is
Yep.
exactly. There's no plan B. There's no like, oh, let me try this, because that was your attitude before. Oh, let me
Hmm.
try and
Hmm.
see. But it's like once you decided to go all in and also go all in on yourself, things start to shift, right?
Yes, yes. I took a leap of faith. I decided to bet on myself. There was no safety net like before. Like I mentioned, hey, the safety net was my full-time job. Six-figure salary, 401k, RSUs, cash, and stock compensation. Everything you could dream of. You could have at a really good job. I don't fault anyone for having a job. It was a great job that I had, but it was time to close that chapter in that part of my book and write a new chapter moving forward. So that's all in the past. Now it's like it's just me, myself, and I collaborating with other professionals who, frankly have the same goal. We want to help each other and, get our clients where they need to be and have fun and make money in the process.
Yeah. So tell us, share with us what has happened since the mentorship. What's shifted for you?
I guess the most important thing is, excuse me, I see myself doing things that I never would have thought before, especially working in full time. There's a lot of things where it's like, okay, I don't need to do that because I'm not, I'm not in that position. I don't need to do it. I don't need to spend all that time. I don't have enough time. So after not having my full-time job and being in the mentorship program, I realized there's so many things that I don't know. You know what they say when you don't know what you don't know, and the mentorship showed me these blind spots, and I'm like, holy smokes, I totally didn't know that. Now I'm more aware and knowledgeable of certain things, and I could utilize that to my advantage. And along the way, I manifest meeting people who are like-minded. So in essence, I'm leveling up. And you know what they say, your net worth is your network. So if you're surrounding yourself with the same 5 people and you're not seeing any change, you can't expect to do better or have the financial future that you could dream of if you're not doing anything different. Well, like Einstein said before, you can't expect the same results if you're doing the same thing. The definition of that is insanity. So something must change. Have to hang out with different people, have to do something different. And when I thought about the mentorship in the beginning, I was skeptical. I was like, I don't know. Coaching, that's just for athletes on a team, football team, basketball team, whatever. They need a coach to help them perform the way they should. But after getting into it, it made more sense. Like, yeah, I may not be an athlete, I'm not playing on any sports team, but in essence, it's the same thing. The coach is seeing things, observing me, behavior, habits, the way I talk, the way I do business, and see holes or shortfalls or inefficiencies where it can be corrected, just like a coach in a sports game, and then help me perform better. So I definitely see the difference between pre-coaching and then after coaching is like, wow, this is so apparent. I mean, it's been going on already during the coaching process, but it's even more apparent now. So definitely moving forward is like, okay, I have the tools and the resources that I need to succeed rather than prior to coaching, just hoping and praying and doing it blindly, doing the same thing, doing the same thing that I was doing prior to coaching.
That's right. And that, with that being said, Danny, like you're absolutely right. A lot of people, they only do and they think that, oh, I gotta just work harder, right?
Hmm.
But working harder and then at something it doesn't work,
Yep.
then getting the same result, right? So when we
Hmm.
first met, why don't I just show you a different way? Whatever you've been doing obviously hasn't been working, right? So why
Yep.
don't you try a different way, right? And
Hmm.
you gave opportunity. Even though in the beginning you were skeptical, but you gave yourself the opportunity.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I always like to use real life examples. Like one of the things I learned before from a previous mentor was work smarter, not harder. And that was so true because you look at, your friends' parents, other people's parents, my own parents, they work hard. They all work hard, but how far have they gotten? Honestly, how far have they gotten? I look at my parents like they don't own a home. They'll never own a home. Honestly, it's not to say anything bad about them, but it's just not for them. It's not in their life. But for me, I could change my life. I control my life. My mom always said if she had money, she would buy a lot of real estate. She'll always recommend me forget about stocks. You can invest in that if you want, but real estate is always the best. All the richest people in the world own real estate. That's the common theme. And that always stuck with me. Even though she was poor, she had a relatively poor mindset, but she did understand that fact. And she always harped that on me as I was growing up. She's like, hey, when you grow up, buy a house, buy properties, own properties, because that's what rich people have. You want to be rich, buy real estate.
That's where you're planning to, yes? Like let's
Mhm.
talk about you manifest it, or what are you in the process of manifesting?
So that's a great question because I've been manifesting my largest deal to date. It is a $54 million deal uh, by referral. I didn't even have to try hard or exert really, any physical or crazy effort. I actually met the lady at a B&I National Speed Networking event. So we had met previously before, and then so we were in the breakout room again. And she was like, "Hey, aren't you the one that does the commercial lending?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. You remember?" And then she told me, "Hey, my husband is actually having trouble financing his deal. I would like to make an introduction." I was like, "Sure, of course. I'll see what I can do to help him." So long story short, we hopped on an initial call to see how I could help him. And then I also got my CEO on the call since it was a large deal and I never done it before. So obviously I didn't want to mess it up, so I had him help me along the way. And yeah, it's been great since that. The lender actually initiated a call with them. Normally, if you have a lender initiating a call with a client, that's always good news because it means they're interested in the deal. And then also, unbeknownst to me afterwards, they had a second call that was scheduled about a couple weeks ago. And my CEO told me, yeah, the lender loves the deal. They love exactly what they're doing because they're trying to do the same thing actually. So it's almost as if it was like a joint venture in a sense. So they are very, very happy to finance a deal. So right now they're just in the phase where they're structuring the debt properly because when you have a large deal, it's always going to be complicated, but more oftentimes than not, it doesn't work out. But for this instance, it will work out. So once the debt is structured properly, the client is happy with the way it's structured, and the lender signs off on it. Term sheet comes out. Client is going to sign the term sheet. We're going to move to close and everything. And so yeah, that's going to take some time. But hey, a month or two, I don't care. I'm going to get a nice large commission check. It's a done deal. The bird is in the bag.
Yes, I love that. I love that conviction, Danny, that you have, right? And this is part of the tools that we share. It's like you focus your end goal on what you want. Doesn't matter what comes up, or the vision. You create your reality, regardless of what's happening on the outside circumstances. Yes.
Yeah, when we had our initial call, he told me, yeah, my entire lender and broker network can't do it. They said they don't like the deal. The numbers aren't good enough. And in my mind, as I was listening to him, the old me would have said, yeah, I don't know. We'll just give it a shot and, hope and pray. But since I was in coaching, I thought, okay, I don't care. Just because your guys can't do it doesn't mean mine can't. In fact, that's a good thing because the deal never would have crossed my desk if his lenders and brokers would have been able to do it. So I know this is my chance to shine. And I said, hey, look, I can't guarantee you anything, but I'm very confident my lenders would be able to take a look at your project and like it because I already did some pre-underwriting and looked at the numbers on his slide deck. The project made sense. He's a veteran operator. He's with an investment group that has been around for 30 plus years in the industry. So he personally has been around for 20 plus years in the industry. So it's not like, it's their first time around the rodeo or, their first time on the block. They know what they're doing. They've seen the highs and lows, the ups and downs of the markets. So they never lost money on any of their projects before. So it is not an experience issue. So I know there's a very good chance a lender or multiple lenders would actually like his project. And lo and behold, we have a lender that loves his project and is willing to finance it. So I'm going to be happy where he's going to give me a testimonial where his lenders and brokers can't do it, but I came in and helped him out and saved this project. And yeah, that's going to be a great thing, not only for him, but for me.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what you do, right? That's what that's what you do. That's exactly, you're just, following along what you promised that you would do, right? That's just, I'm waiting for that big cha-ching day, but that's just one of the things that manifested, right? So you talked about you manifest relationships, new connections, leveling up, right? But most important thing that when it comes to manifesting, Danny, is actually you manifesting a new version of you. Yeah.
Definitely. I definitely feel like at least a good part of my old self is gone. I don't think the same way as before in terms of like the bad things. A lot of the bad files in my computer are not there anymore. They've been wiped away and replaced with better files that actually served me. Yeah, like I mentioned for that deal previously, I would have just thought, okay, yeah, it's not good. Okay, I just hope it works out. Or even the very common thing we hear, especially nowadays, oh, the economy is not doing so well. There aren't that many deals out there. Yeah, business is not that great. I'm like, no, not really. Everything's fine on my end. I'm not trying to be tone deaf or anything, but that's just how it is with me. I'm getting referrals. I'm meeting new people. Business is good. There's always going to be opportunities everywhere. It's just a matter of where you look and who are the people that you're collaborating with. If you're competing, then you're at a limited mindset and not an abundance mindset. And then that's why you're struggling because you feel like there aren't that many resources for you to take advantage of when there actually are an unlimited resources to take advantage of. It's just a matter of mindset.
Did you think about that, Danny? Did you think that you had abundance of resources before? Did you get to meet the people you're meeting now last year? Did you think that way?
No, pre-coaching, I would never have thought that way. I was always thought about competing as like, oh, there's another lender, there's another broker. Oh, I got to find a way to beat them. There's always some way to quote unquote one up the competition in that sense. But now it's like, it's okay. They're not going to steal my clients. People who want to work with me are the ones that know, like, and trust me. There's a reason why they're talking to me and not other people. There's so many mortgage brokers out there. They didn't pick them for a reason. They came to me. So there's nothing to be worried about to have to compete or steal someone else's business. It's the same thing. If someone goes to them, it's because they have a relationship with them. I'm not stealing anyone's business. So there's plenty of resources where you have your clients, I have my clients, those other brokers have their clients. We can all coexist in harmony and work together. And in fact, some brokers would actually don't mind cold brokering deals and say, hey, this doesn't fit the box for my lenders, or this deal is quote unquote too small. You could take a look at it and take care of it. So for my lenders, there's no such thing as too small, really. And we'll take a look at anything as long as the numbers make sense. So they make their money, I make my money, the investor gets the financing that they need for their deal. Everyone wins.
But it comes down to you having the right mindset, right? To be able
Yep.
to this and then attract the same people into your
hmm
life,
Yep.
help you,
Yep.
whether leveling networking or help you refer you the business, right? But
hmm
everything is happening that you've done work on you. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, and yeah, it all came so easy. There's no crazy grinding like 8 hours a day outside, in the elements, especially if you're down in SoCal where a lot of all my business partners are, it's 80, 90 something degrees. I would not be grinding outside in that type of weather. Uh, I I like to joke with them being in San Francisco. Nice temperate weather, 60 something, nice and cool and breezy, just chilling at home, making phone calls, sending out some emails, conducting Zoom calls, and just the referrals come. It feels effortless.
Life you wanted to create, Danny,
hmm Yeah.
you are living, right? Helping
hmm
people in control of your life, of your own schedule. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I never would have been able to do that prior to coaching. Like I never would have thought or manifested like this. I didn't have the vision to see it like that. And when you can't see something, when you don't have the vision for it, it's never going to happen. Like Henry Ford said before, whether you believe you can or can't, you are correct. So why believe you can't when you believe you can, right? It's really that simple. If everyone would think they always can and have that leap of faith and not worry about the safety net, and they put their mind to it, they can do it. They really can.
Yeah, yeah, but it's easy for you to say this now, right? Where do you what do you think your life would have been if you didn't invest? What do you think you will be at today if you didn't invest?
I'll just be stuck somewhere in a purgatory, maybe vicious cycle, trying to figure out, oh, what am I gonna do? Um, Scramble, panic, worry, all those things that, frankly, a lot of other people have to worry about. But for me, I'm very fortunate to be in this position, to know what I know, learn what I've learned throughout these, 9, 12 months in the coaching session, and have these tools for the rest of my life. So whenever there's a situation where it's not what I expected, it's like, oh, okay, it's okay. It is what it is. Don't, put the emotions into it. And I know I would be able to manifest what I want instead of what I don't want, because I know to focus on what I want. And then if I do think about things that I don't want, I could catch myself and say, hey, stop thinking about that. Go back to what you want. Just focus on that. Forget about the other stuff. Tune out all the negativity, tune out all the things that you don't want, tune out all the negative situations and circumstances, and just focus on all the positive stuff.
Beautiful, Danny. Beautiful. Oh my God. Like that is beautiful. That's what people want, right? That's what
Mhm.
I mean, everybody like, how can I get rid of the negative thoughts and beliefs so that are stopping me, right? Everybody is trying to figure that out, right? And now
Mhm.
that you mentioned tools, that now moving forward in the rest of your life, you can know how to handle it when situations come up, right? Because situation is still gonna come up, right? Doesn't mean
Mhm.
everything is rainbow going smooth. No, right? But now you have the tool. Now you are equipped. I like to call it. Yeah.
Mhm. Yep, yep. Yeah, it's just like another tool in the tool bag, really. So, I like to say life is kind of like, in essence, kind of like a project. You construct it the way you want to be, and then the more tools you have, the more things you could do and construct in your life, and that you want to have. And knowing all this, it's also nice that I could share with other people who may be struggling or having trouble getting over the hump, like a mental blockage, in their business or personally. And I can say, hey, well, I did this for coaching. Maybe you should consider it, and help you alleviate those blockages, those things that get in the way. Take a detour. If you can't go through it, go around it. Don't be like the fly stuck flying on that window and just keep banging the window. And then there's the door open just like 5, 6 feet away, and you can just fly through that crack.
Yes, yes, beautiful, Danny. I love it. I love, by you sharing, it just shows me how much you've grown as far as your awareness. Like
Hmm.
literally, like what you're sharing. I know
Hmm.
that you've taken information, internalize it, right? And this is just the beginning, Danny, right?
Yep.
This is just the actually, right? Imagine, right? So we're gonna finish it out by what would you say to people who was maybe be watching this and thinking if they should or should not invest in themselves? So any words of encouragement?
I would say you're going to be skeptical at first, but when you actually start doing everything, the affirmations, the visualizations, studying the material, like actually really studying, not just reading it, but actually studying it. This isn't like a speed run or or a 100-yard dash to see who finishes reading faster. It's not any of that. You really have to slowly read and study the material to understand everything. So in the beginning, it'll be hard, it'll feel weird. When I was doing the affirmations and the visualizations, it felt weird. I was like, man, if there was no context and someone was just observing me, they would think this guy's crazy. Why is he repeating that all the time, and like in all those steps every single day? But as you do it, it doesn't feel weird, and it becomes a habit. And then when you start to see the real changes that come up in your life, like for me, all the people, the new people that I meet, the referrals that come in, then that skepticism will go away. And then you'll really truly realize, wow, this manifestation really works. It really does work. So for anyone on the fence right now, I would say go for it. Don't think about it. Don't be like, maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure. Forget all of that. Have the leap of faith. Go in, take that deep dive, and you will not regret it. I haven't. I mean, I haven't. So why would they? If I can do it, those people can too.
Yes, yes. Oh, that's so good, Danny. You should be a motivational speaker.
Maybe.
Because it comes from your heart, right?
Mm,
It really just that you're wanting to share with people, right? And that's so beautiful because that's who you are, that you come across, right? You want to
mhm,
help people. You've come across something that's valuable that help you, that you just want to share, right?
mhm, mhm. Yeah, life is kind of like a bank account too. You can't withdraw more than you deposit. So I take helping people as kind of a way of like depositing, and then when I need to withdraw, when I need help the most, I know somehow, some way, somewhere, someone will help me because I've seen that
Yes.
happen before. So with this, knowing this, it's like, yeah, it's just being reconfirmed, reinforced that it's actually true. So if people listen to this and I could help at least one person tell them, hey, this is going to change your life positively, they should do it. Maybe not for just themselves, but for their family as well.
Absolutely, absolutely, Danny, right? But it starts with you, right? In order
Hmm.
for you to help your family, friends, community, you got to help yourself, right?
Yep.
So it definitely, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So thank you, Danny, for coming on and sharing your amazing transformation and story. And this is the beginning. So I'm looking forward to having you back and then tell us what else you manifested in the future. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Amy. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Danny.
All righty. Bye.